Hello everyone, welcome to today's session of Certified Ethical Hacking. So today we will be going to start our footprinting and reconnaissance practical, in which we will be doing some kind of uh, practical part of the module. Okay, so I hope no one is having any doubts from the yesterday's session where we completed the theoretical part of footprinting and reconnaissance. Okay, so today we will be going to start a little bit of practical of footprinting and reconnaissance. First of all, I need you all to know that there is not much practical in footprinting, because there are some tools which you need to understand about, which is available over the internet for free. So I will be sharing you the step-by-step guide on how to use those tools and find out some basic information. So our agenda for today's class is to perform footprinting on websites and to get some basic informations about the target. Okay, so let us start this one. That I need to work on that. So unfortunately, we will be having our practical on Kali Linux in our next class. But in today's class, we will be having some. We will be discussing some lab manuals also. But the practicals on Kali Linux we will be covering in our next class. Okay. I don't know what is the issue behind this one, because the virtual machine I'm having 32 GB of RAM in my system. Some network problem or okay. So how many of you tried the NCAP software which I gave as a task in last class? Install this virtual machine. Let us 4-bit operating system. So Okay, great. No issues. So let us start with our first practical, first lab manual, which is footprinting and reconnaissance. So let us move to this one, labs. And how many of you completed your this thing, the slide, the second module, which I asked in the previous class? How many of you gone through the first module, the first material? This one, the slides, footprinting and reconnaissance. Okay, great. So let us move to our first lab manual, which is footprinting and reconnaissance. Okay, so starting from the beginning, we will be using some basic commands and some basic tools for finding the IP address, because the basic step is to find the IP address. So the first thing is we need to open our command prompt, which is available in your Windows operating system. So how many of you worked on command prompt? Let me know in the chat. Okay, how many of you know about the ping command? P-I-N-G. Okay, so the first thing is, whenever we are trying to do this thing, a footprinting activity on a server or on a website or on a target, the first step is we need to find the IP address. So how to do the particular the activity is to perform a ping command. Ping and pass the website. So for example, we are having a target system, certifiedhacker.com, which is available for open testing by EC Council. So just type command ping www.certifiedhacker.com, and whenever we hit enter, then it starts pinging the server with the using 32 bytes of data. How many of you know about bits and bytes? What is the difference between bits and bytes? Okay, so bit is the small value and byte is the largest value, because 8 bit equal to 1 byte. So we will here means 32 bytes. Using the 32 bytes, the system is pinging the IP address by using 32 bytes of data, and it's taking approximately a 448 milliseconds to perform a ping command. Okay, now we will try to find how much bytes can this server take on, like how much bytes of data can this ping command accept, or the server can expect. So what we need to do is we need to perform a ping command by using ping www.certifiedhacker.com -f-l. Now we need to find the this thing, input the number of frames. Number of frames means number of data or the bytes which we need to pass. Suppose we enter 1500 and okay, so what's the error we are having? Packets need to be fragmented but DF set. Why this error is coming? Because 1500 bytes of data is much more in comparison to 32, and the server is not able to handle this much of data. So let us try a value which is smaller than 1500. Let us try 1300. Okay, so it's accepting. So the ping is being completed using the 1300 bytes of data. Now we know what is the minimum amount of bytes which we can use during the ping operation. So these information is very important as an information gathering process. Now we know the IP address of the server, we know what is the maximum amount of bytes the server can expect, and we also know the minimum timing, 389 milliseconds, which is a minimum time taken for the ping operation. So these all things are the very important and the basic step in information gathering. So suppose after doing the ping operation, we need to log this whole data. So just copy the whole data and paste it in a notepad and save it in your activity folder. Suppose you are working on certifiedhacker.com, then create a folder named certifiedhacker.com and just log each and every activity which you perform and save it into the particular folder, so that whenever you want to look back, then you can easily just browse or go through the file and can have a clear look. Okay, so just save all these log and let us move to the next step. We know the IP address, we know the maximum bytes of data which it can process, and we also know the minimum milliseconds of time which it needs to process the ping operation. Now moving further. Now we need to perform a trace route operation. Okay, what is a trace route? A trace route is being used to trace the whole root of the domain name. Suppose a domain name may be using various other domain name servers, IP addresses, mail domains, FTP domains, or any third-party domains. So using a traceroute command, we can track each and every IP related to the particular domain name or name server. Suppose certifiedhacker.com is using some telephone connections or some camera connections or some mailing routing protocols. So using the traceroute command, we can track the whole activities or the whole this thing, logs and files attached to the particular server. So for that, we need to perform a command named as trace ERT and that particular domain name. So let us perform this command. First, let us clear the whole terminal. So the tracing route is activated and started tracing the whole IP address and into the particular domain name or particular IP. So within 8 milliseconds, 5 milliseconds, 2 milliseconds, it pinged the IP address 192.168.43.212. Let this one complete. Another IP address we got 10.102.170.77. Another one we got 10.102.171.106. Another one we received Airtel broadband IP address, which is situated with this domain or this network. Another one we got if you are on a system, then you can also do this one or perform a practical also. In meantime, when this command is running, you can also perform on your system also. Okay, so here the traceout is completed. So we received few other informations also, such as the main IP address, the situated IP address, some name servers, some domain names, and some hosting information also. Okay, so this is the second thing which is an essential part of gathering information about the target. So just copy all this log and save into a new text file. Okay, so anyone having any confusion on trace route, let me know in the chat. After doing the ping command, anyone having any confusion in this thing, the trace route? Well, traceroute is a suppose right now I just try the traceroute this thing, the command, and suppose you are also trying the same command. So it is not necessary that we both will be getting same log. Okay, so it's different because it depends on real-time data. So right now we are having these logs. Suppose if you tried this one, the same traceroute operation on certifiedhacker.com, you may be receiving some different logs. So it depends on real-time data which is happening on the server currently. Okay, so these data are also important. So we need to try this one by one, again and again. So after that only we will be able to fetch each and every information about the domain name or the server. Okay, so this command trace routes the network configuration information of target domain. So whatever configuration the domain is having, we can fetch using trace route command. Okay. Okay. So how many of you know about name servers? What is a name server? Let me know in the chat. Suppose you are having a domain name and you want the particular domain to be hosted on a particular hosting service provider or a hosting account. And for that, you also have an IP address. But to resolve the particular domain name onto the particular IP address, we need a name server. Okay. Yes, it's also known as a DNS setting. In the DNS setting, we need to resolve the name server. Suppose you purchase a domain name from GoDaddy.com and you are having a hosting from different provider, then you need to pass the name server of the hosting provider into the DNS settings of your GoDaddy.com. Based on that, the domain name will be resolved to the particular IP address of your hosting. Okay, if you are using crazy domains, then the name server is ns1syrahost.com, ns2syrahost.com. If you are using GoDaddy, then it may be ns1.godaddy.com, ns2.godaddy.com. So it depends. So we also need to know the name server of the particular domain name. As we are fetching the basic information, then we also need to fetch the name server. So how to find the name servers? So for that, we can use the same command prompt. How to perform that activity? So let us do this one. first let us perform a NS lookup operation. NS lookup operation is used to look up the name server. Okay. Okay, so NS type this command NS lookup. The default server shown is here, unknown, and address is the one which we are having currently. Now we need to pass the domain, the domain name of the our target. So how to do that? So after performing the NS lookup command, we need to first of all set type equal to A. Why type equal to A? Because we need to perform the NS lookup operation on the IP address. And in the last class, I already informed you that to look up the IP address, we need to use A name server, A type. So first type set type equal to A and then hit enter. Set type equal to A. Hit enter. Okay. Now, after that, we need to enter the domain name, which is certifiedhacker.com. So the server is unknown, address is this, non-authoritative answer, name is this one, address is this one. Okay. And the alias is this one. So here we are able to find the A name record of this thing, the domain certifiedhacker.com. Suppose we need to find a C name, then in that case we will be using set type equal to C name and then enter the domain name once again. So here we are able to find the C name of the particular domain, which is www.certifiedhacker.com canonical and name equal to this one. This is the C name of the particular domain. Suppose we want to find a C name of different domain. So how to do that? Suppose we need to find the A record. Set type equal to A and domain name as www.google.com. So here we are able to find the address is 216.58.199.164. Suppose we need to find the C name. Then here is the C name record of the Google. Primary name server ns1.google.com. Responsible mail address is dns-admin.google.com. Serial number is there, refresh number is there, retry number is there, expire is there, and default TTL is there. CNAME, okay. So first of all, you need to be clear what is a name server. Name server is used to resolve a particular domain name to a particular IP address. And if you have resolved the domain name to a particular IP address, you need certain DNS settings. Okay. What are DNS settings for this thing? Okay, let us move to this one, public DNS. For configuring your domain to work properly, we need different type of DNS records. For working of email address, we need a mail DNS record. For working of this thing, FTP, we need a separate DNS record. For working of different type of activities, we need different DNS settings. So DNS settings can be fetched using A record. Using A record, we can easily fetch the IP address. Using CNAME record, we can find the CNAME settings. Okay. CNAME stands for canonical name or CNAME record. It's a type of DNS record that maps an alias name to a true canonical domain name. Suppose you are having few settings. For example, the mail settings, the default TTL settings, the default mail server settings. So those all settings can be configured via CNAME record. Okay. So for finding the CNAME record, we will be using set type equal to CNAME. So let us try this on different domain. set type equal to cname, and website is this one. So here the CNAME is ns1.arrowappscloud.com, hostmaster.nixtech.com for mail address. Serial number is this one, refresh name is this one. So let us try this one on one more different domain. Let us try this on Facebook domain. Here the CNAME record of Facebook is star-mini.c10r.facebook.com. These are the internal records of a particular server, which you may not be able to find it on internet. We need these type of records so that we can proceed further in our practical. Okay. So anyone here is having any confusion on ping, traceroute, or this one, the NS lookup? Let me know in the chat. Okay, how do we find name server of any domain? Well, finding the name server is not that much hard. You just need to enter whois.net. Okay, whois.net is a universal open source whois lookup software using which you can look up any type of domain name. Suppose we wanted to find the name server of nixtech.com. Just enter the domain name and hit enter. So here you can see the whois lookup of particular domain. Okay, which is domain name, registry ID, registry whois server, registry URL, updated date, creation date, when it's going to expire. Okay, and the name server is here, ns1 dot nixtechnology.com, ns2 dot nixtechnology.com. So, and let us try this on different domain. Okay, so here is the information of Facebook. Domain name facebook.com, updation date, creation date, expiry date, and name server a.ns.facebook.com, b.ns.facebook.com, c.ns.facebook.com. There are 4 name servers of Facebook. So is it clear how to find name server of particular target or domain name? Let me know in the chat. So anyone having any confusion on how to find name servers, please let me know in the chat. Okay. So the final summary of this topic was to gain or to find the IP addresses, to find their TTLs, DNS server details, and other DNS information such as A record, CNAME record, TXT record. Okay, so we saw how to find A record and CNAME record. So there are other types of records also, such as text record, TXT records. So how to find that? Set type equal to TXT, hit enter, and enter the name of the domain, nixtech.com. Okay, so the request is getting timed out. So using set type equal to txt, you can find the txt records. So just like A record, CNAME record, txt records, we also have MX records, which stands for mail records, the mail server record. So it's set type equal to MX. Then let us try this one on nixtech.com. So here is the mail server details of the Nixtech domain, hostmaster.nixtech.com. Okay, let us try this one on different domain, google.com. So here is the mail record of google.com. There are lots of mail records of Google. Exchanger is aspx1.google.com, al22, alt3, alt4, alt1, AAA internet address. Let us try this one on facebook.com. So Facebook having hmtpin.www.facebook.com. Let us try this on cronbit.com. Cronbit is having Google name servers. Let us try this one on certifiedhacker.com. So same is mail.certifiedhacker.com. So using these steps like set type equal to A record, TXT record, CNAME record, MX record, we can find the DNS records of a particular target, which is the essential step for information gathering. Okay, so anyone is having any confusion on how to fetch A record or any other type of record such as MX record, TXT record, or CNAME record? Let me know in the chat. Anyone having any confusion? Okay, so from here, the second topic is finding company's subdomain. Suppose you want to perform a a particular activity on facebook.com. For that, you need to find subdomains of facebook.com. So how to find that? You can use Google for doing that, or you can use Sublist 3R, which is a tool which is available by default in Kali Linux. So right now I'm facing some issues with VMware. So right now we are not able to do this one. We will carry this activity in our next session, but we can also do that using Google also. Subdomains under facebook.com. Just perform this command and you can find various websites which can fetch the subdomains under a particular domain name. So these are the all subdomains under facebook.com, facebook.com, web.facebook.com, developers.facebook.com, de-de.facebook.com, l.facebook.com, apps.facebook.com. So why do we need to find the subdomains? Because suppose if the main domain, the primary domain is very secure, so we won't be able to hack the primary domain. So for hacking the server, we need to have the list of subdomains. Suppose the Facebook is having a total of 100 subdomains. So we may get access to a particular subdomain which is not secure that much, because a company doesn't focus on securing each and every subdomain. Suppose we find a target. Suppose that our target is nixtech.com and the primary domain is very secure. Then we can perform some activities or some cyber attacks on subdomains by finding the vulnerability. So Facebook is having lots of subdomains, ENGP, JAJP, ESLA. So these all are language based. EN is English, JA is Japanese, ES is Espanol, Spanish, and just like that, touch.facebook.com, code.facebook.com, badge.facebook.com, blog.facebook.com, ai.facebook.com. Let us try this one on separate domain. Next stack. Okay, so first we are able to see the DNS records, that the record name is, the A record is 108.170.7.27. Triple A record is not available. MX record is mail.nixtech.com. NS record is here. SOA records are here, and TXT record is here. Now let us go to the subdomains. So the site is having 4 subdomains. autoconfig.nixtech.com. So let us see what is on this one. autoconfig.nixtech.com. So okay, so autoconfig is not working. Let us try this one, mail.nixtech.com. Apache is functioning normally. Okay, let us try. Okay, so these are all the different things. Let us try by putting the mail in the back of the domain. Suppose let us try webmail. Okay, so we are here able to find the this thing, internal roundcube webmail of this website, roundcube webmail, nixtech.com. So we are able to find an internal page where the admin is using his email boxes. So suppose if we are able to find the username and password, then we can also log in from here. But right now we don't have that, so we will close it. Suppose let us perform on google.com and find the subdomain to Google. So this is the DNS record of Google subdomains. So the site is having 4,37,000 of subdomains. Just imagine 4,37,000 of subdomains. Plus.google.com, maps.google.com, play.google.com, APIs, analytics, groups, books, photos, trends, podcasts, productive forms, store, profiles, video, earth. Let us try on Netflix. Netflix is having 3,000 of subdomains. So the purpose of finding the subdomain is to find a vulnerable domain, okay? Because 90% chances are that we won't be able to find a loophole in any primary domain, because the primary domain is having the highest rank. Highest rank means that the domain must be very secure. So we need to find some subdomains of the particular organization so that we can perform some exploit activities to find the vulnerabilities or loopholes. So any confusion here? How to find the subdomains of a particular company? Let me know in the chat. After finding the subdomains, you need to copy the whole subdomain and save it to into a new text file. Okay. So anyone having any confusion on how to finding name server? So if you are using Kali Linux, then you can try this one, Sublist 3R. Sublist 3R is a default software available in Kali Linux. using which you can just pass the domain name, and the software will return each and every subdomain of your target. So use this command: sublist 3r -d google.com -t3 -e Bing. So using that command, the software will output the total number of subdomains found in a particular domain. So here you can see the results. Total unique subdomains found 56. So using this one also you can do that. So we will be covering this one in our next class, because right now my virtual machine is not working. Okay. Just use this following command, and using that you can enumerate the whole subdomain. One more important step is there. Suppose you also want to find each and every subdomain with the number of open ports. So how to achieve that? You just need to pass a command -p. -p means ports. Okay. And you need to pass the port name, port number. Suppose you want to find if 80 port number is open or not. So just pass 80 -p 80 -e Bing and press enter. So the tool will start enumerating the domain name, and it will start finding if the 80 port number is open or not, on each and every domain name. So here is the list, or here is the output, that on accounts.google.com 80 is open, aboutme.google.com 80 is open, admin.google.com 80 is open. So using this tool you can do perform this activity. Okay. So let us move further. Gathering personal information. So I don't think it's that much hard. Using Facebook or Google or other tools also you can perform the activity. So suppose you want to find a particular person on internet and you are not able to find them. So what to do next? There's a website named people.com, people.com. How many of you heard about this website? Let me know in the chat. The domain name is pipl.com. This is a type of search engine which contains whole data of a particular person or his personal information. It's having more than 3 billion trusted users. So you can easily find the records of any user here. Okay, let me send you in the chat. Suppose you are not able to find a person on Google, then 100% you can easily find him on people.com. You can just request a trial, then create your account, and then perform the search operation. Just you need to enter the name. Suppose if we have the name, so then also you can perform the activity. If you don't have name, you have email address, then also you can do that. If you don't have email but have a username, suppose a username may be on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, then just pass the username here and you can easily find him. Suppose you don't have username, email or name, then if you have phone number, just pass the phone number in search and you can easily find the particular person. So what type of information you may fetch from this software? You can find his email, phone number, username and residential address also. Okay. So such as let us perform activity. Suppose Barack Obama. After doing activity, you can find the images, some other informations also, photos, age, address, current job role, current geolocation, places. So using this website people.com, you can search for your special targets or your particular user's target. Okay. So anyone having any confusion on people.com, let me know in the chat. Anyone having any confusion till now, please let me know in the chat. You can easily find any normal person also. That's not an issue. You can even perform search operations for normal users also. The, yes, Rohit, the website is paid, but you can request a trial also. Okay, so could you repeat again? Okay. So as we saw, the first step is to gain the IP address of the target. Then after that, we learned about trace route. Then after that, we learned about finding DNS records. Then after that, we need to find subdomains of the particular organization. Okay. And after that, we need to find personal information. Suppose we need to hack into a particular organization. So for that, what are the steps we need? The first step is to find the IP address of the organization. The second step is to find the or get the trace route log of the particular organization. The third step is to find the domain name servers or DNS records of the particular organization's website. The fourth step is to uh, find the subdomains of the particular organization, how many subdomains the website is having. And the next step is to find the personal information of anyone who is working in the organization. Suppose we need to find someone who is working in Netflix. So how to do that? You can just send a mail at Netflix. Suppose you get a reply back from them, and you can easily ask them for their names. Suppose, may I ask what's your name is? So suppose if the person give you their name, then you can perform a search koreanpeople.com by entering his email ID. After that, you can easily find his images, phone number, email address, or residential location. Okay. So is it clear now? Up to till now, everything I shared. Let me know in the chat. Okay, so the next lab is InSpy lab. What is InSpy? So it's a Python-based LinkedIn. I want to find a person on LinkedIn. So InSpy is a Python-based tool using which we can do that particular operation. So InSpy is available by default in Kali Linux. You just need to pass the command inspy -h. -h means help. So each and every command associated with the particular software will be visible there. So -h, using this command, you can easily access the whole command lines inspy-h. After that, just perform the command ls-ls and word list. What is word list? Suppose for finding a particular person, you need to create a word list having thousands or lakhs of words in order to perform a brute force attack. So just navigate to ls-user/share/inspy/word list. So by default, Inspy tool is having lots of word list. So we need to use the particular word list. And after that, just you need to pass the command inspy-emp spy, the file name, space Google, and hit enter. Okay. So whenever you hit enter, Inspy will list down all the employee profile details that are working in Google. So is it clear how to find someone who is working in a particular organization using the word list? Suppose you want to find a person or the list of persons who are working in Google, Microsoft, Netflix, or Oracle. So how to do that? You just need to create a list of words. So okay, suppose you know 50%, or you are having thousands of people's name in a particular text file. So you just need to pass the name of the text file and the name of the company for which you want to find the data. After hitting enter, you will be getting each and every result of the this thing person name with the particular company. I mean Google. So using this command or this tool, you can find persons who are working in a particular organization. Suppose you are having name of 100 people, 100 person, and you are not so sure that all of the 100 people are working in Google. So for making that sure, you need to pass the 100 names in a text file and just use the command inspy. Pass the text file of 100 people and pass the company name. Suppose if from the file only 30 people are working in Google, then the command or the output will be shown only for the 30 people. So you can easily filter those 30 and can save the next new text file that these 30 people are working in Google and the rest 70 are useless. So everything is clear here. Why we use inspy? Let me know in the chat. Well, if you are having inspy command and suppose you are not having inspy command available in Kali Linux, then you can just perform this one: apt update and apt hyphen y install inspy. Using this command, inspy will be installed. Okay. Suppose it's not available by default, then you can perform this command. Using this one, inspy will be installed, and it's only of total 15 MB, so it's not that much big. So you can just perform this command and can download the inspy app. So everything clear here? How to use inspy? Let me know in the chat. Well, okay, if you don't have employee name, can I find it? Well, no, you need to have some list of database of different users. You can download that from internet also. So internet contains huge amount of database of different people, person names. So you can just download the database from the internet and can perform separate commands, because it's not that much easy. You need to give whole day or 2 or 3 days also to find someone who is who is working in a company or not. So it's not that much easy. You need to give a lot of time for that, for this one. So everything is clear here? How to use inspy and what is the main name of inspy? Yes, Rohit, we will be doing practical, but right now my virtual machine is not working. Unfortunately, there is an issue with that. That's why we are not able to do the practicals. From the next session, definitely we will be doing the practicals. I will make sure that. Okay, so right now let us move to a different topic, which is Firebug for Firefox. Suppose we need to find some bugs in a website. Okay, suppose we are having a website address and we need to find some bugs, some internal URLs, internal directory, the CSS, the HTML, the JavaScript in the website. So there is a tool for that named as Firebug, which is only available for Firefox. So using that, we need to install an add-on for Firefox named as Firebug. Let us search for that. Firebug for Firefox. Firebug. Okay, so here you mean, okay, so if you are having a Kali Linux tool or Kali Linux virtual machine, then you can just find the default tool under your Kali Linux toolbox. Just open your Firefox browser in Kali Linux and navigate to the website moviescope.com or any website you want to find bugs or internal URLs. Just enter the domain name and hit enter. You will find a small icon here. If you are able to see, a small icon will be available here. Icon, and the icon will be look like a bug. Okay, bug. So just click on that, and a Firebug command prompt will open. So here is the Firebug command prompt. So we have different options here: inspector, controls, debugger, style editor, performance, memory, network, and DOM. So using this command prompt tool, we can find each and every bugs available on the website, each and every style editor or CSS or Java file available on the website, or internal directories also. So using Firebug, we can perform the activity. Suppose we are performing some activity on the website and we wanted to know if the website is having some errors or not, some bugs or not. Then we can just activate the extension. The logcat will open, and after that we need to perform some activities, and the logs will keep generating. So whenever there is a red log, suppose we find a red log, a text which is red in color, that means that there is an issue with the particular command. Then we need to pause the logcat, we need to double click on the log, and we can easily find the bug which is currently having on the website using the Firebug tool, which is only available for Firefox. So is it clear how to use Firebug to find bugs and internal activities? Let me know in the chat. Yes, it's only available for Firefox. Now suppose we want to find internal directory of the website. So how to do that? We need to click on network tab. By clicking on network tab, we can easily find CSS file, JavaScript file, bootstrap file, logo, images, and everything else which is available on the website. So using Firebug, we can do various operations. We can find the HTML code, CSS file, JavaScript file, fonts, images, media, and other type of files also. So is it clear now? Any confusion in Firebug? Let me know in the chat. Everyone, please let me know in the chat. Yes, Firebug is no. Firebug is by default available in Kali Linux. You just need to open Kali Linux, open Firefox, and if you don't have Firebug icon there, then just search for Firebug for Firefox, and from there you can download Firebug. For Windows, it's not available. For Windows, you need to download Firefox for developers. Okay, you need to download or install Firefox for developer version. Under that version of Firefox, you can easily use Firebug in Windows also. But in Kali Linux, it's available by default. Yes, it's available in Kali Linux. In virtual machine also you can do that. There is no restrictions in virtual machine because Firebug is only available for Kali Linux Firefox. If you want to use in Windows, you need to download Firefox for developers. Okay, so moving further, now suppose we want to gather information and we need to extract some data about company. So how to do the particular activity? Then we are having various tools. Suppose there is a tool named Web Data Extractor. Using this tool, it's also available for Windows also. Using this tool, we just need to pass the name of the organization. Okay, click on New, enter the name of the organization or domain name, and click on OK and process it. It will extract each and every information about the particular target. So let us download this one if it's having free version. Web Data Extractor. Let us try the free version of this one. This tool is by default available in this one, your torrent, which tool which I have provided you, the 2200 set of tools. In the particular set, the web data extractor is available, so you can use from there also. Make sure to switch off your antivirus. If it's on, then it will automatically get deleted. If you are using the tools provided by us, if you're downloading from here, then there is no need of reactivating your antivirus. Let us open the tool WDE. Okay, so after opening the tool, we need to click on new project. We need to pass the URL. Let us pass the URL of netflix.com and stay within the full URL. We need to only extract the primary domain. The data will be saved here. Extract the meta tags, extract the emails, extract the phone, extract the faxes, and click on OK. Okay, so here it's showing an error. We need to find some other domain. Let us enter http next.com. Extract meta tag, emails, extras, phones. Stay within the full URL. Okay, so here the connection is started and it started extracting the whole page or each and every data which is available on the particular website. So we need to give few minute of time so that it can extract each and everything. In the meantime, we can also look on these data. Meta tags, we found titles, keywords, description, host name, domain, page size, last modified, keyword, emails. Okay, so we are also able to find emails, contact, this technology, contact, Rahul. Okay, so it's already finished. Phone number is there. These are the phone numbers which we've found. Fax, merge list, URLs inactive. So as we are having the email address also, so using this information, we can also perform a few other activities, such as we can send phishing URLs, phishing emails, spam emails. We can send some phishing SMS, phishing offers SMS.
We are also able to find each and every URL present on the website. The title is the website using, the keywords the website is using, the description the website is using, the host name is there, and the sessions is there, fax number. Let us try this on a different one, a different website. Let us try this on Microsoft.com. Let us do this HTTPS Microsoft.com. Stay within the full URL. Let's start. Okay. Yes, you can perform on any website. It's not an issue. Okay, so there are a few restrictions in the software, so we need to use the version which provided by us, as this is a free version, so there are some limitations of this. Okay, so using this tool, web data extractor, you can perform extractions on various websites such as Flipkart, Facebook, Amazon. Yes, it will take time. Yes, it's also have lots of URLs, that's why it's taking some time. So you need to be very patient so that it should work properly. Just you need to create on new and click on new. Just enter your information, starting URL, then the click on stay within full URL so that it only scans the primary domain. Click on extract metadata, extract emails, extract phone, extract faxes. And suppose if you also want to fax some based on other filters, text, data, parsers, connection, then also you can do that. Okay, so is it clear how to use web data extractor? No, you don't. You cannot use httrack. Httrack is for different purpose. Httrack is used for coding for this thing, copying the whole code of the website. But here we are extracting the information about the website, the hidden information. So any confusion up to here till now? Let me know in the chat. Anyone having any confusion on this software, web data extractor? How to turn off antivirus? Well, antivirus you just need to deactivate. Just go to settings and deactivate it for 10, 15, 30 or few minutes so that you can perform your activities. That's all.
Okay, everyone. So this is it for today. Tools link is I will be sharing. The tool is total of 3.1 GB. So I will share one more drive link for the tools. As we have not started the topics where the need of tool is there, as the tools are very this thing illegal. If you try to use the software without any proper guidance, uh, you may end up doing something wrong. Okay, so I will be sharing you the tools when you all need that. So the question is here, when it will be when the need is there. The first thing is we'll be starting the module number 4, which is vulnerability analysis. So in the vulnerability analysis, we need the tools. So at that time, I will be sharing the whole tools link so that you can download it from there. And as a guidance, I will be there to guide you that how to use the tools. Without that, do not try to use those tools. Okay. So this is it for today, everyone. Thank you for patience. Now you can leave the class and have a good night, everyone. Thank you.